Just went live. I didn't intend to. It wasn't my intention, but I clicked a button to check something, and it just made us go. But I figured I'd share the freeze frame. It wasn't intentional, but that happened.
Luckily, none of us were naked.
Is that a concern of yours?
I mean, it looks like I'm ready for it.
Yeah, it does look like you're going. So I filled out the military sheet. All right.
Oh, are you excited about that? Oh, hold on. Are there any glitches or glumps or gloops?
So there's a couple things that would probably need to be added. You don't have a spot to add extra initiative. I just added +4 to Naito.
Whoa, hold on. Why would there be extra initiative?
Because there's a boon called Tactical Initiative that gives you +4 to your initiative rolls.
Oh, that's a very easy thing.
Yeah, I just added 4 to it, which
exactly. Yeah.
That's the only thing of note that
and that's such a unique one that I would what I would do is at the bottom where it's like special abilities and all that, I would write that in there. Yeah. Exactly. And then I would follow that up with the in the cell where it shows like the total. I would actually add like a +4. Just I
wrote INT for init, right? Or probably INIT.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up your shit. Your shit.
But so just so you know, my army's ending up with, when I'm in combat with Naito, with a 25 DV.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty baller. It's because you're I don't mean this to sound douchey, but it's because you have a copycat of
Well, I mean, that's only because of defensive tactics.
I want to show off what it is that we're looking at to chat. So give me 1 second. I'm going to try to do that for everybody.
Go for it. Yeah. But everything's filled out pretty well. I named my army the Steel Wall of Shadow.
That's pretty badass. I won't lie. Hey, Nick, your new sheet, have you started filling it out too?
Yes.
Cool. How far along are you?
I did the Town 1, Town 2 advisor tasks. I started.
And Jake, you did you even notice that there was an update? Let me drop that shadow. Froze me again. I'm gonna have to find out exactly why it's happening. I think I know why. I have to find out why though. All right, so here's what we're looking at over here. So okay, so let's see. Looking at shadow. Gotta throw some shadow. Zoom 90%. Cool. So over here, looking at yours, for what he's suggesting, you wrote a knit somewhere. You said. That's gonna be under the armies tab, obviously.
It's gonna be under commander.
Under the commander tab. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be under commander.
Okay. So in your commander tab, you wrote. Where does it say?
It's under
ready for battle. Yep, ready for battle. Exactly that. Yep, you get that there. And so obviously you have that there, and then under your tactical initiative area,
I just have a +4 to it.
It's exactly what I would do. Yep, perfect. Yep. That's literally the whole point of this, is for it to be a very simple update for you guys as you go. And that's exactly what we need. So all those other ones we have written in there, let's say like defensive tactics, blah, 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 blah. You're not going to use those every combat. Actually, and one of the things I have...
Defensive tactics always applied to the army. So
because it's a boon that might be true. If it's a tactic, that might not be true. That all depends. So, under one of the tabs here, I think under the military tab. Yeah, in the military tab, I have a couple of notes that I haven't finished, like kind of parsing through. But the whole idea is like you use one tactic, and if you ever want to change your tactic, you actually have to make a check. It's not a very difficult check. We have to make a check to successfully change your tactic that you're using after you enter the combat. So, as an example, I don't know if any of your armies actually have tactics or not yet.
I have one.
Do you? Which one?
Not my army. My commander provides the tactic, I think.
He provides what? So dirty fighters, cavalry sweep, sniper support.
No, cautious combat. I haven't written there yet because I was like left over. The commander provides the cautious combat.
Oh, so what's the stuff underneath your army's pet tab?
Those were just the ones that you left because of Valorant's army.
Oh, so probably just wasn't copy and pasted over. Okay, that's that. Yeah. Gotcha. Cool. So these are the things that like for the patrons that are doing this, is the things to note for them. Cool. So awesome. So that you provide one tactic for them?
Yeah, my commander provides one tactic, which is cautious combat, which is a decrease to OM by 2, increase to morale by 2. which I probably won't be using often, but there might be a situation where it's necessary.
OLD, Jesus. So cool. Another thing to note for both the patrons that are going to be using these and for you lot as you're filling it out, Jake, who probably just realized that it exists, is if you actually look in the top under economy, loyalty, stability, if you copy and paste it over a sheet before I realized that there's a bunch of shit inside there, under other, under treaty, under temporary treaty, under resources, under events, there may have been stuff inside there that wasn't supposed to be there. So just make sure you hollow that out. And to answer your last question, Sal, 1, 2, 3. So you could do one of these for what comes from Patreon, and that would be a kappa, and then we do a pasta. Then here we just do Patreon, because it only exists for you guys. Other, I feel like should be other, because you don't want to confuse it. You know what I mean? It only exists for Patreon. So for this one, we just extends the this little bit right here. Did you already adjust it?
Yeah. Oh, I can. But if you
no, I got it. I thought you were already writing it. What's that? AS? It's going to? Yeah, I'm gonna do AS.
Yeah, AS. ARAS.
Yep. Let me just check. Cool. So that way it incorporates it all for you that way, and at least looks cleaner. Now, if you guys check the stream, assuming you have the stream up, Jake and Nick, you can see where I put it. Just literally after other and economy, and then just make sure you adjust the economy total area to include the Patreon slot, right? And then, yay, we're done. Cool.
Yeah, everything else is pretty solid. I didn't have any problems with anything.
Yeah.
I guess we will have to add one more thing, because in Ultimate Rulership, there's a quarry thing that's like the foundry mines and the lumber sawmills. So it's like how it doubles the effects.
Don't we already have that inside there? We have lumber sawmill inside there, yeah.
Yeah, but there's one for quarry as well.
Oh, we don't have the advanced quarry?
Yeah.
We'll add it as needed.
We'll worry about it eventually.
Yeah, 3.2, whatever it is we end up coming up with. Cool.
I'll probably be the only one that gets one anyway, so I can just add it to my sheet and not a big deal.
Maybe
trying to tell me I can't get a quarry if I don't want a quarry?
So, I mean, are you planning on building a quarry on your hills instead of forts?
Maybe I was.
Oh, well, you also have to connect.
If you want to,
you have to connect. Well, no, you just have to connect it to your city with a road.
He's having a rough day.
Actually,
don't mind the action work. He's just a little confrontational right now.
You'd actually have to. I think it has to be within a hex of your city. So you have to put a city next to the hills and put a quarry.
Right, I'll just build near your capital city too.
Okay. Nice. Sounds good.
That is your style.
Encroaching on people's territory. Sounds like a very Baron-Landsy tactic.
He's just nuzzling up. That's a little love cuddle right there. That's all.
It's like the friend that stands uncomfortably close, and you're just like,
yeah. He's a face talker, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the good distance of talking is like 3 to 4 feet or whatever. Is that it? I don't know what it is.
It's like I should be able to reach out and maybe touch you. Maybe
5 feet then?
Probably not, right? Like my arm is not 5 feet long. Maybe. If I can reach out and full on palm your chest, you're a little too close.
I have a really bad measuring problem. I can't judge distances or how full things are.
Because you're so short, you have to compensate.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I gotcha. Jake has that same problem. It's okay. All right, he gets it. Yeah.
It's because we have to do what is it? The triangle thing. I forgot. I should
Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah. To figure out the distance I have to be because we're at a different angle than fate.
There you go. A squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah.
I knew what the formula is. I just forgot what it's called. It's such a basic trig thing.
That's not even trig. That's geometry. That's not even trigonometry. That's geometry. Yeah. That's even earlier. Fair. Yeah. Because
it's in trig as like day one. We're recovering this basic stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, of course, obviously, because it's trigonometry, you're going to need it for trigonometry.
Yeah. Well.
Either way. So, what were we getting at? Cool. Well, I'm glad you started filling out the sheet. The two of you. I hope you say it's pretty reactive. One of the cool things I want to show off about it, which kind of like we're diving right into this, so we can show off this kind of stuff, is under the Kingdom Notes area. I'm going to use yours as the example. Under the Kingdom Notes area, you have who the nearby kingdoms are. that you have here and like what they are, helpful, friendly, indifferent, unfriendly, or hostile. And depending on what you choose, it sets a color. So it's like a quick eye grab, for you. I was kind of thinking about making it so the whole line was the color after you choose it. Then I was like, and then if you have any embassies, treaties, or down here alliances, any details with that, and other set inside there is what you get from them, because that's important. Go ahead.
So to note, line D7, it doesn't have a pick option, and neither does line D4.
Cool. You know what to do? Copy and paste one of the ones that does, and then just change it back to what it's supposed to be.
That's fair.
That's because I added the pick option later on and thought I went back and fixed it. That's all.
Yeah,
noting for Patreon
for everyone else.
So, yep, appreciate it. The big ones that I like that took me most of the time. I wish it took me less time than it did. I wish I could sit here and brag that it didn't take me less. That it took me less than 15 hours, but I can't. It took a long time to get it handled correctly. Is the diplomacy edict area, the trade edict area, and the espionage edicts area. Even as simple as the espionage edict area is, it was still a pain in the ass to pull off the way I wanted it to. So looking at that one, choosing things like, do you want to discover vital, it tells you the BP cost right there and the DC instantly. It pulls up that as well as all the rules for it.
DC 57.
Yeah, because what it is it's probably your control DC plus 20. Discover minor, it shows the details for that. If you want to go over to something like sabotage shows down below. It's a red dot, and over here it says pick. You have to choose what kind of sabotage you want it to be. And the way that these work, the way a lot of these works, I have little handlers. I don't know how much you use spreadsheets, but do you know what a handler cell is?
Yeah, I think.
So you can only, if you know anything about coding, especially if you're using things like JavaScript, or other more modern types of languages. There's things called scope. So more or less kind of like almost like its own ecosystem of code within an ecosystem of code within an ecosystem of code. So what is it? Spreadsheets don't allow for much scope. It allows for like 1 or 2 degrees of scope, and that's it. So you have handler cells that do stuff for you, and then you have other cells that call to the handlers. So if you actually look immediately adjacent to the left and right of the espionage edict area, there's cells there with a whole bunch of hidden code. And if you look up above like the diplomacy area, there's like hidden code written inside there.
That's clever.
Yeah, because it's like my handler cells. So I can have the additional layers of scope to pull it off. But
that's really clever, actually.
Yeah, and this allows for you guys to, let's say you're doing a diplomacy edict, whatever it is, you type in very, very, very basic details. All the DCs, all the everything is right there for you. It makes life super freaking easy. So, awesome. Including the trade edict was a pain in the ass. And then just for the trade edict, if you just hover over where it's successes, failures, or the types, it just shows you the basic rules right there for you to make it nice and easy for you to see what it is.
For size, do we have to manually input it on the diplomacy edict?
Yeah, so let's say you're trying to do diplomacy edict with, I don't know, let's say it's Hardgwen and their size is, I don't know, 14. Type in 14. And after you do that press enter, you'll see it actually changes the color of the cell. The color of the cell will only be that if it's 0, because you don't know what it is. So it's to make sure you don't forget it. Relationships mod only if it applies. You have to check the rules for that one, but everything else is already in there.
Yeah, I see. Okay. Everything adds up.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives you the DC at the bottom.
And then if they were like one step, say if they were lawful, evil people, then my DC would shoot up because we're like 2 alignment step or like 3 alignment step difference.
Well, so it's per axis. So 2 steps in one axis is 15, 1 step in one axis is 5, 0 steps in one axis is 0. So it could be, in theory, a lawful good nation against chaotic evil nation would be 30 DC on top of all the other details. So
yeah. Oh, okay. I thought it was 10 and 5, but
it's 5 and 15. Yeah, because lawful and chaotic just don't get along very well.
Right? Yeah, which is why I wouldn't get along with anyone that's lawful.
That's why it's best to be, for the sake of diplomacy, across the board, remaining true neutral is actually really good for consistently having the same kind of like, just assuming that you have to deal with 10 diplomacy. Because the worst case scenario, somebody's 1 step away from you on both axes. That means that you have to deal with 10 increase.
And that makes a lot of sense, right? Because a true neutral doesn't would be able to like not rub too much with other people.
Well, that's frightening.
Wow.
Steve always says no reason. This time he says some reason.
Oh God,
Genuinely frightening.
That's
genuinely frightening. I won't lie. That is actually frightening, but okay.
He's gonna get us. We're gonna go on a ship on our way to the gala, and it's gonna sink, and we're all gonna drown.
You sunk my battleship. Anyways, so now you guys see how all this works. Jake, I know you've barely looked at it because obviously you have your kids. You were out last night, and I posted it while probably you were sleeping, because you're a day ahead of us. But do you have any questions? And Nick, do you have any questions about any of this? How it's set up?
I'm
work it out.
trying to fill out my stuff right now. Once I get there, I'll probably have questions.
Cool. And it's not like super important to get it done immediately, but obviously, like if we're going through one of those periods of time where, let's say I'm talking to Cell and you guys are sitting by the wings, feel free to fill it out. But I did try to add a ton of notes areas at the bottom for you that you can rename as needed. So I have, expansion notes A1, A2, all the way down to currently J1, J2. But like you can rename those whatever you want, like for however you need to keep your notes. It's just, and you can merge those cells or whatever you want with them. It's just meant to be simple little notes areas for you to kind of keep track of. The tasks stayed pretty much exactly the same. Over here had very minor updates. I expanded on the thing that Cell did beforehand, made the event roll area its own cute little separate spot. Incorporated math for the armies and how many you have, factoring in like the recruitment edicts and all that fun stuff. And it comes to the realization, y'all bitches shouldn't be aggressive. I know it kind of like makes sense for like your culture or whatever, and that's fine. Like I'm not going to knock you choosing to do that if you want to, but friggin' being isolationist borderline works for almost every nation. You know what I mean? Like I'm over here with Cell. He's aggressive. And with this commander, he'd have 9 armies. Let's go for a second and make him pacifist. Pacifist, he can have 0 armies. That doesn't work.
Well,
but peaceful.
Manpower.
Huh?
Manpower is the problem with it, right? You want a decent chunk of reserve manpower if you have a lot of casualties to be able to replenish them.
Correct. That is very much a big thing. But if you look at, say, peaceful, if he's a peaceful nation, which actually applies for Cell, he could have maximum of 3 armies and the maximum of 240 manpower, 0 elites. Cell, how many armies do you have right now?
I have 1.
And how many are in it?
100.
And how many elites?
0.
Okay, so what you're trying to tell me is that if you just maintained a peaceful thing right now, you have way too much shit for you to work with.
It's true, but it's more of what the reasoning was behind it originally is that there was like the in-game reason was because we're a growing nation and we have enemies on a lot of sides, right? And then once we get secured, then I was going to lower it down.
I'm going to counter this with, it made sense when your population was so small, you needed to be very high aggression to compensate for the amount of people. But now that your population is a baseline 4,800, assuming this is correct, 4,800, you don't need, 20% of your population or whatever it is.
I agree. It just, I haven't thought about it because there's only a -1 to economy, which isn't a big deal.
Correct, but it's also it also can affect other things too. Like it's literally written into certain, not diplomacy things. There's some other things that are factors as well if you read through the books or whatever, right? So it's nice to kind of keep that in mind because it's an relatively easy edict to change. The one here that I imagine always being aggressive and never dropping below that is Jake. It just makes sense for his people. Nick's people are not aggressive people. They're not warlike people, but they are very warrior. Jake's people are like, I'm gonna eat your face.
Why people hide behind metal
why?
shields?
Because you're standing in front of me and I want an ice cream cone. I got in line first, so I'm gonna eat your face. Why are you so aggressive? I'm from Florida. Oh, I get it. Because Densho is the Florida of PGC.
We legalized PCP, all right?
Oh,
This is what happened in Denver.
okay.
I don't know.
Well.
What do we have to do at the start? We had to do what, Densho rolls, and then that's it.
Yeah, I think it was Densho rolls, a little bit of RP, and the next session is really where we're like kind of jumping into stuff.
Or
All right,
I guess we're gonna start traveling, right, north?
Yes, correct. That's like diving into all the big details of what's happening up there and so on. So, any other last second details about these? Now you have to have baths. Now you have to put in all of your cities. You have to install the building called baths, Jake. You just have to. And then next to it, you have to have like what is it called? The something market, the specialized market. What the hell is that called? Sal?
The
Exotic
black
market?
Exotic market. Yeah.
One?
What did you say, Jake?
Oh, I said the black market because that's
or
good building. That one.
Well, exotic artisan.
I can't put one of them into a city though. So
no.
We're a bit away.
I meant exotic artisan next to your baths.
Which I think those are also a city level.
But, all right. Anyways, assuming you guys have no other questions about this specifically, I think
or the sheet specifically.
the sheet, the setup, any of these kind of details.
I only have a question about the kingdom rolls were gone. Are we gonna hit the -4 unrest because our leader's gone? Because it feels a bit weird because it's not like we're dead or we are missing. It's like a planned thing.
So what you would do for your scenario is, because you don't currently have an heir in place, who would watch your realm in your absence?
Shado or Naito.
So what you would deal with is Naito would become the warlord, meaning that your war chief is actually the vacant slot for the month that you're gone.
Yeah.
And then you would have to make the leadership checks and make sure that there were no penalties for him shifting over there. Because that's per the rules, if somebody just shifts over, it should make things pretty easy for you. So that's how you were going to handle it, because you don't have somebody to fill that slot because you didn't cheat like Jake. I'm not sure what Nick did with his kingdom.
Nick doesn't have. He's missing both.
So Nick, in your absence, because you also didn't cheat like Jake, in your absence, could you? Who is going to be the ruler of your realm? Who do you trust amongst your advisors to actually be like, you are the leader in my absence?
Oof.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like there's some names that you're like, I like where they would go with things, but I hate where they would go with things. You
Honestly,
know?
Tonscreet might be a good option.
I like Tonscreet.
No, I might, because I know Tonscreet won't do anything that I would have to pay for it later.
Right? That's what I'd say. Like he would keep everything as is.
Well, it's more like sometimes like Narn will get his hands dirty if he has to. Tonscreet won't.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be Tonscreet.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was like, what are you talking about? But yeah, he will do the job, but he won't do the dirty job. Like,
correct.
Like he won't make the unjust decision because it's what's necessary at the time. Yeah. Gotcha. Lizard hate. Wow. Oh. Listen, you want to rule this country, you're going to speak the language. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's fucked up.
Just kidding. Oh.
Shala could be good, but yeah, Steve. But people, I don't know. Spy Master shouldn't be in charge. We don't need to be Russia, okay?
Wow. Throwing shade at Anno, which, by the way, side note, I actually miss Anno. I don't know about, like, I know Nick, Anno's relatively new to you because he kind of entered into his summer shortly after, but after you joined the community. But like, I genuinely, this time of year, I miss the shit out of Anno. Like, he's such a loud, obnoxious asshole. He's just such a piece of shit. And he treats everybody so horribly, right?
I feel like we get along.
Right? Seriously. but
you wait. The best thing is you both have like targeted towards me extra hard.
No. Otto is meaner to me than anybody else. Absolutely.
Listen, you don't know how many threats. You don't know how many threats he gives me on Tuesday. Okay.
Tuesday's not a streamed game though, is it?
No.
Yeah,
he threatens me.
It's not live. It didn't happen. What's up, Nick?
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, so you said targeted, but really, it's like you're the guy holding the hors d'oeuvre tray, and I'm a fat kid. Like, I'm sorry, stop serving it up, and I won't eat it. Okay, just stop.
You can't victim blame someone. Okay,
I just did.
It's fucked up.
Truth hurts.
True,
son.
Listen, okay. I don't think you're old enough for me to be your son, unless you had a kid real early.
So, Nick, I heard you saw my wife and daughter today.
I did.
And you pointed them towards ice cream, and nobody got me ice cream.
That's good. Did they get it? I hope they got it.
They got ice cream, and nobody got me any after the blueberry picking.
Fantastic. Well, it's your fault that I spend more time with your wife than you. So
well, at least Sam was there, so at least I know Brittany got some enjoyment in the encounter.
Oh. Oh.
Ooh. Josh. Thursday morning, 9 a.m. EST. It's called Ward Farm, I think, out in Sharon, Massachusetts, I think, is the name of the town and the name of the farm, I think. I'm probably going to be there picking blueberries and petting goats and petting piggies. Just saying. There's a tractor ride. Just saying. And there's apparently an ice cream place not too far from there.
Yes. With the cows on site. It's one of the best ice cream places in my opinion. So I would recommend it.
I mean, of course you lost a house bid. It's Sharon. You don't live in Sharon. Sharon is a town that is so wealthy, they have one liquor license. If you're a town that is so wealthy, you don't need to draw in tax revenue from liquor in Massachusetts, where it is double taxed in Massachusetts, then you don't buy a house there. Okay? By the way, their schools are rated A+ in Massachusetts, which is the number one public schools in the country. So yeah, it's Sharon. You visit there, you go, oh, look at that. I'm the homely person walking in for the day. And people like judge you as they walk around with their noses in the air. And then you leave and you go, well, I'm glad I got to visit. So.
Did you guys hear any of that very, very loud fireworks? Fireworks, yeah. No? Okay, good. Because for about like 5 minutes straight, it was just like boom, 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 boom.
Do you use the banana hammock or whatever it's called?
No, I just have the normal settings on the mic.
Oh, you don't have like a filter?
No, I mean,
I should probably
normally
plug back into my
enough.
filter, but anyways, so Josh, talk to your wife. I don't know if you have the little one. It might be difficult with the little one being down this way, down in Sharon, at 9 a.m. But and I don't know how long she could stay out in a field. It will rain later, but not earlier in the day. But I'm going to be out that way. Nick, I assume you're working. So
I might be.
yeah, it's Thursday. So, but anyways, I'm going to be picking blueberries and getting some ice cream. So I'm just tossing that out there. You talk to the wife, you figure out life or whatever. Shoot me a text. Love you, BB. All right.
I love you too, Josh. We need to talk sometime, please.
Yeah, of course I'm asking you out to date live on stream. I'm close to my community. All right. When COVID's finally over enough that Brittany stops being like very, very, to be fair though, I'm actually kind of anxious too. She's just more so than I am anxious too. I'll actually finally like look forward to meeting other people as well. There's one person I know from on here that lives in Connecticut. I totally look forward to meeting that person, but I'll always meet in public places. That way, if they kill me and drag me away, at least somebody will know where to look. I'll post it. I'm here.
Well, that might not be a good decision. You'll get a bunch of murderers together. Not just one.
A murder collaboration. Ooh.
A murder orgy.
Wait, what are they doing with my body?
You're dead. You don't know.
See, so murder orgy. That's why you'll never get invited. You can't.
I don't want to be invited.
LD, you don't live anywhere near here. You live in like Kentucky or something. Like
no, he lives on the West Coast.
That's what I mean. That's like the same difference. It's a part. It's like nobody cares. You live where nobody cares. Nobody cares.
True. No one cares about Kentucky.
Like yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Everyone takes a piece as a souvenir. Oh, I got the left testicle. Whoa.
What the fuck?
I only got the right one. I'll trade you an eyeball so I can have a matching pair.
What is wrong with you?
So,
Jade, your kingdom rolls. Upkeep phase.
Also, Nick, you have to come over so you can play. That's right. I changed that.
Oh,
so you can play Pac-Man with me.
That's very cool, actually.
I won't lie. I tightened the thing and I didn't realize it was gonna be that hard to move.
I see.
Yeah, you gotta come over and play Pac-Man. Rory's high score, somehow she got just shy of 6,000. I won't lie. We were all like...
natural gamer blood. That's all I gotta say.
Her usual high score is somewhere around 2,000. So it was one of those like, oh, good run. So, where were we?
Jake's upkeep phase.
Oh, that's right. Jake wasn't talking. That's right. He has to save his voice for Wednesdays. That's right. So any other details that we should go over or? Oh, nice, LD. Appreciate it. Any other details we should go over? Or are we actually jumping into this now?
No, I don't think so. The sheet was pretty good to work with.
Cool. Good. I'm glad. I'm hoping it actually makes things a lot easier moving forward. So,
with armies? Oh my god, it will. 100%.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I won't lie. All right. And I hope this incentivizes like everybody building their commanders out. I kind of want to build the commanders for you, like or with you, like live on stream. Like that'd be like a fun thing to do. Like, oh, let's build commanders.
I have one dude named Henry Firebane that we got to work on. That I have to do, and that's it. I think I got, I took down all the commander votes. I think everyone else got them.
No. Wait, Jake got 2 coming. Jake, what are you doing at the time that we went live today? Air quotes. As I went live today, what are you doing tomorrow night, or tomorrow morning, or whatever? I'm sure you have your children.
They come back tomorrow, but I don't know what time.
Okay. So
Hopefully
what time do we usually go live for you?
11.
Rena! Aw. There's a person I can't wait to meet. 11 a.m.? So if you want, we can do you first. And 11 a.m. your time, if your kids aren't coming till like say 1 o'clock or whatever it is, we could totally build out your commanders really quickly on the sheet or whatever. That'd be fun.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Any other details? I think we're good. We can actually get started. We completely finished. I believe we always kick off with Shado is first, Kuchibashi is second, and then Densho is third, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So that being said, with Shado first and blah, 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 we can have... I don't think I have any other specialized kingdom rules coming your way. No, I do not. So, Jake, we're starting with yours from scratch. We had no other questions, nothing left over from the other 2, correct? Cool. So, Jake, going to you, kingdom building. Are you still in your old sheet, by the way? Just to confirm?
Yeah.
All right, let me open that up. See what I did there? I called him out one more time, just to make sure he knows that I know that he didn't do it yet because he was sleeping. Because it was 3 a.m. All right. Map. Dead show. All right, cool. So for Dead Show, going next. Where are we? So Dead Show, you're gonna go next. The first thing we're gonna be doing for you is going ahead and rolling for your rolling for your stability check.
Yep.
Upkeep phase. Where are you? I miss you, Rena, even though I see you twice a week. I want to play video games with you instead of just D&D all the time. All right, cool. So you clearly destroy that roll right there. I wish there was like a mechanic for like when you destroy it by like ridiculous numbers, but then, things are kind of like snowball into too much too quickly. Anyways.
I mean, you could do like if you succeed by 20 or more, right?
Nah, because again, then it snowballs. It very easily snowballs, right? So anyways, you -1 to your unrest, which your unrest currently, Jake, is sitting at a 2.
Yeah, I just minused.
Oh, so from a 3 to a 2. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, sir. After that, we're going to go ahead and pay your consumption, which now that we have this. Oh wait, your thing is not properly separated, but for you, I think it's still accurate, isn't it? It is. So you have a -4 consumption. That's sexy. Yeah. Even with your 2 spent in reserve armies, you still have a -4 consumption. You should start doing stuff with that. So what can we start doing with that, Jake? remember what we talked about on the call post Wednesday session last week?
Yeah.
And what we talked about when Nick went to bed last week, right? The endowments. Endowments are a great way of utilizing that negative consumption, but getting a huge boon for your nation, especially if you're quite endowed. You get very famous. So continuing on with that. So it's negative consumption you do not make money off of. Fill vacancy magic item slot. Do you have any empty slots that need to be filled?
Yeah.
Empty or here? Here or here? Yes, you do have an empty slot. You have 2 empty potion slots. Well, you have an empty potion or an empty wondrous item. So first we have to have somebody in chat roll a D100 and see if it's a 51 or higher. First, you choose somebody for the D100, and if it's a 51 or higher, also choose the person to roll me the next D6.
Ashen can roll.
Followed by?
Rena.
Okay. If it's a 51 or higher, Rena can roll a D6. Hey, Rena. Thank you, Ash. Beautiful. So that's a 4. 4 is going to be, say it says empty here or here. I was going to be 1, 2, 3 is why I was using a D6. I suppose technically we could have used a D3. So that's going to be the here or is what we're filling up. So it's one of the potion slots, right? So Pathfinder magic items. We're going to go for potions. Could you ask somebody to roll a D100, please?
Zalamos.
Zai.
Yeah.
And now that we have the result, it is going to be a... No pressure. I should have had you call the third person right afterwards. Xylemos?
The suspense is killing me.
Yeah. Oops. I even did it wrong myself.
The 00.
Yeah, so
that is the proper die.
Yeah. Actually, didn't I do it right? Oh, I didn't do the 100.
The 1. Yeah. You did the percent.
Look, Xylemos rolls a 97. Look at that. Oh, look. So Xylemos rolled a 97. That's the shield of face. Oh, you rolled immediately afterwards?
It's roll.
Oh, God, it's taking so long. I'll just go.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, Zai, you can roll again.
Time,
Roll again, Zai. That's
again.
so funny. That's so funny. I won't lie. So just so you know, what I rolled for you was a Shield of Faith +3.
He rolled a 100.
So whenever we have 100s, I always allow it to be one of those double potions like we've seen before. So 100 technically is supposed to be undetectable alignment, but that's boring as shit. So instead, it's choose 2 people to roll D100, and it's a double potion. I suggest you have Zai do one of them.
Yeah, it's, Zalamos and Josh.
Are we ignoring base cost value for the kingdom?
Yeah, this is a special factor.
Yeah, I figured, but it should be mentioned.
But base value should be 2,000 for him anyway, so.
Oh, his is huge. Yeah, I forgot.
I know. So that's a 53 is Bear's Endurance, because that boy keeps it going.
Oh,
And
nice.
29 is... Wow. 29 doesn't work. You have to re-roll it. 29 is Magic Weapon. So
Yeah.
we need a re-roll from Ani Funny One. 34. Remove Fear. Wow, that's pretty cool. So it makes you tough and brave. Because Remove Fear isn't just instantly a fear effect. It also gives you bonus saves against fear. So it's a potion of Remove Fear and Bear's Endurance. I'll put it over here. Bear. Rem Fear. It's Bear Rem Fear.
What level is the potion?
always the minimum cash level required to do the potion, so 3. So yeah, which is still pretty badass, right?
Well, that's unlucky because if it was 4, technically remove fear would affect 2 people.
It wouldn't do that anyways because the potion.
Potion? Okay, fair.
Yeah, because you have to consume it.
Yeah, you can't give a sip.
No, he's not. No.
I got you.
Either way, so cool. That was actually a super badass one. I'm glad we went through the hassle of rolling that. After that is going to be modify and rest. Jake, because you still want to get rid of that damn unrest so you can start trying to make profit off of your lack of unrest, do you want to make the loyalty check? You have a plus 29 against a 37. Are you sure? This does help your economy, your stability, and everything else.
Yeah, that's good.
Are you positive? You only have to roll an 8 or higher.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Are you 100% like right there? This is like the best decision.
I'm 100%. Yeah.
Hey, LD, can you go ahead and roll me a d20 out of curiosity to see what he would have rolled? He needed to roll an 8 or higher. In the meanwhile, after that is going to be your Edict Phase. Did you want to... See, look at that. Look at that. You could have crushed it. In your Edict Phase, you're going to... I was like, why does this sheet look wrong? And then I realized, oh, it's not the one I've stared at for the past literally over 40 hours in the past week. No exaggeration. My wife got mad at me because I was literally working on it on the drive to and from my brother's house because it's over an hour drive each way. To and from my brother's house yesterday, I was working on it. And then when we stayed there for like a very long period of time, I busted out the laptop and went in the kitchen. Then we got home. So you go to watch a movie? Nope. Instead, I stayed up until after 2 in the morning working on it. Like,
why?
Because I wanted to finish it.
I know, but
anyway, so any leadership changes that you're making, people you want to shift positions before the month that you leave, and obviously the month that you're gone, they're going to be shifting you out of there just in time that you won't take any penalties because it's pre-planned. So you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Actually, you have or Cooley anyways. Yeah.
Moved to Lawkeeper, and the new guy's stepping up.
So moving Mara to Lorekeeper, I don't think has any negative impacts because she's immediately replaced. I think actually all this is done for free. Because a shift over while being immediately replaced, I think has no negative penalties.
So you have to roll.
I'm checking right now. I think there's no penalties whatsoever.
Okay. I thought there's like a stability check to switch.
It's usually a loyalty, but I think no, because you're immediately filling the slot. Okay. So responsibility, abdicating a role. All right, ready for this? If you want to step down from a leadership position, you must first find a replacement to avoid incurring the appropriate vacancy penalties for your position. Abdicating position increases unrest by 1 and requires a loyalty check. If the trick fails, the vacancy penalty applies for 1 turn while the new leader transitions to that role. If you are the ruler, it's blah, blah, blah. But there's also, if you're switching positions as a rule, because she is technically abdicating her role. But if you're sliding over and filling in, I thought there was something else. Help me out here, Sal. Do you remember this or no? I don't expect them to remember anything.
About abdicating a role or switching a role?
Switching roles.
I think that's equivalent to
It is, except I think if you switch positions. I think if you switch positions, you get to avoid other penalties. I thought we had found that before.
There might be. I can look. I don't remember because I haven't needed to do this. Choose assign leadership roles.
All right. So you just have to deal with the leadership checks, sir. Excuse me. So yeah, if you
a leadership check.
Yep. So abdicating position unrest by 1 and requires loyalty check, vacancy penalty, da 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 da. But if you're they're not leaving their role. I know there's a thing where if they don't leave their role, if they just switch to a different role within the kingdom, you don't get the unrest, but you might still get the vacancy penalty. I'm almost positive how that applies.
Maybe switching positions avoids potential penalties. Is what Joey said.
Yeah, no, I'm almost positive what it does is it avoids just the unrest, but not the abdication part. Jake, I need from you a loyalty check.
That's fine because there's no penalties for moving. I don't think.
So penalties for what?
What would the penalties be from?
So
you're talking about the vacancy penalties?
Yes, but give me 1 second.
Which
Go
there
ahead.
are none.
Hold on. But it
So-
applies one. I'll explain 1 second. Go ahead, Sal.
Okay.
So you must so abdicating a position increases unrest by 1 and requires a loyalty check.
Or
if the check fails,
or to be clear, Jake, or if they fail the loyalty check, you suffer vacancy penalties, even if the person is in that position. Even if you have somebody in that position as they're settling into their new role, they just haven't picked up the thing and started running with it yet. Go ahead, Jake. Sal.
unrest by 1 and requires a loyalty. If the check fails, the vacancy penalty applies for 1 turn while the transition happens. Rulers, it's different, but yeah. So your unrest will go up by 1, and if it's since the consort slot, it doesn't matter rolling the loyalty check because the vacancy penalty doesn't exist, I guess.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So you have to avoid the loyalty check because the vacancy penalty doesn't apply. But I remember we found a rule somewhere because this is how we handled Valorant before. There's a rule written in there where if you switch positions if you don't leave leadership.
Yep, that's literally right below. If you're not the ruler and are leaving one leadership role to take a different one in the kingdom, the unrest increase does not occur, and you gain a +4 bonus on the loyalty check to avoid the vacancy penalty.
There you go. Boom. I knew the unrest didn't occur, and the loyalty check doesn't matter for you because you're switching out of a role. Oh, because you don't get to apply the benefits.
Benefits.
Perfect.
Yeah, you have to roll
You're rolling a +33 against a DC 37. And now I hope you roll that natty 1 because you refused to roll last time.
I mean, at worst, you just don't get the benefits. There's no, since it's a consort slot.
What'd you say? It was
plus 33. Yep, it's a loyalty check with a +4 modifier if you just want to do it that way.
Okay.
Okay, easily beat it. You're good to go. So no penalties whatsoever, and you get to switch them around. So turn that beat around. Love to feel percussion. Turn it upside down. All right, so where's Mara? And where's Zal?
I don't have
Saren.
to
Saren.
Zal.
You do now.
Saren,
You
by
do
the way.
now because you accepted them. You accepted them into your heart and soul. Okay, you should have access to them now. Either way, so the way Mara is able to assist you is it's going to be for the new role she's going into as Lore Keeper. It's half charisma bonus added to whatchamacallit. And as Lore Keeper, we also did knowledge history beyond that. So half for charisma bonus, negative 2 divided by 2 is a 1. And then plus our history bonus gives her +1. So Mara as the Lore Keeper provides a +2 to, I think it's loyalty. Yep. Which is a nice little benefit. Then what's his fluff? His name is Saren, is what he generally goes by, except you might call him otherwise in private. Vet. He gives half of his charisma, which no, he's wisdom based. That's right. We were saying that whatchamacallit could be wisdom based. So half of his wisdom is a 2, but then they actually because we're kind of like circumventing what it is you do here in your thing, they're actually not based off of just one stat because you're doing this like weird religious combination thingy-majiggy. They do a combination of history and religion, which neither of those are out of 5 for him. So it's just a 2 right now. When he levels up, if he levels up, then he will get that additional +1 or whatever. So since he's not there, he's still just a 2. So in short, you get a flat +2 to your loyalty, which you are starving for. So, cool. Congratulations, Saren. That's a beautiful thing.
Can you please tell me the new values?
Yeah. So loyalty went to a 31. So it should be 29, 31, 41. All right. Now let's continue on since you did your leadership thing. It's always fun to rehash the rules, isn't it, everybody? Right, children?
Augie rules.
All right. After that is going to be claim or abandon hexes. Jake, you have 21 currently in your treasury after you did your negative consumption. What are we doing for claiming of hexes, if any?
Not claiming at the moment.
Okay. So you're doing nothing there. After that is going to be your build terrain improvements. Any terrain improvements you're completing or beginning?
No.
So you're not building any farms or anything like that, I imagine, because you already have too many,
No,
correct? Beautiful. After that, you're going to build, what is it? After that is going to be your improvement edicts. This is going to be your buildings. What buildings are you working on? It looks like you have your castle is going to take 5 BP and go down to 8 months. I won't lie, when that's less than 6, I'll be very excited. Where's the stockyard going? You still haven't named town number 2? All
yes,
right,
I have. Look in town number 2. It is named.
Oh, you just didn't change the tab. Okay. I was
don't know
about
how
to
to
say
change
the
the
first
tab.
person to roll 100 on D100 gets to name it. I was just about to give away that. Oh, you were literally oh. Gnocchi, it is?
Whatever say, yeah.
Isn't gnocchi a type of Italian pasta?
Yeah.
It is. I just translated farmland into Japanese, and that's what it said. So,
No, it's beautiful. That's fine.
Yeah.
I love gnocchi. It's delicious.
I love it. In a cream sauce, cream cheese sauce to be more specific. So
It's definitely not spelled like that though.
No.
It's
So the
G
G,
and
yeah.
it's
yeah.
GNO like CCI or CCIHI or something like that.
So your treasury then goes from a 21 down to a 10, correct? To 11, correct?
Yep.
Beautiful. Go ahead and make that change for me. After that is going to be create or no, we already did that. After that's going to be create any armies or do any training for your armies.
I'm still building. I gotta build.
Oh, I'm sorry. What else are you doing?
Yeah. Over in the other place, what do they call it? Nochi, or whatever it is. Yep.
Well, hold on.
We are building.
Hold on. I'm pronouncing it CH as a K, but is CH
I don't know how it is in Japanese.
It's your town. Is it Noki or Nochi?
Nochi.
Nochi. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that just makes me think, Nick, hold on. How do I do it? Hunky, wanna nochi? Or sorry, wanna lychee? You remember that? Hunky,
What?
wanna lychee?
What? Is that before my time?
Oh, it's before it's before all of our times. Nick, did I just give you a couple of flashbacks?
Why don't you ask Mike about it?
It's killing my throat to do that.
I'm sure I'll get myself in trouble. I'm not. No.
Or how about that? Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Oh, I can't hit those octaves. I'm
Listen,
not.
That person is a child educator now. I just want you to know that.
Wow. I mean, honestly, I personally remained friends with that person for a long while because I got along with them very well. So, but you know, they're all a little fucked up. Moving on.
Yeah.
So, moving on. So they are. I can't throw stones. I live in a very glass house. So,
Yeah.
what are you building, sir?
In the top right square, we're going to build a house and then a dance hall.
A house and a dance hall. Ooh. How long does it take to build a dance hall, and how much do both of those cost? A house is 4 BP, correct?
Actually, no, I can't build a house and a dance hall because a wall as well is not an improvement, is it?
A what? A wall is what?
It's a building. It's not an improvement. I can't build 3 buildings in one turn, I don't think.
Houses, you can always build a house for free. It's actually written in the rules that a house does not count as buildings. So your kingdom is limited to 2 buildings. So that could be a wall, a house, and a, what you call it?
Dance hall.
Dance hall. So a wall costs 2. A house costs 4, so that's 6. And how much is a dance hall?
4.
4 in one go or 4 each of multiple goes?
No, 4 in one go.
Is it really just 4?
Yep.
Really? Is it really that fuck? Really?
Yes, it is.
Does anybody else feel like that's wrong?
What, the wall price?
The dance hall.
No, the
dance hall is what, 6?
Dude, a dance hall is, it gives you 1 unrest, but it gets rid of 1 economy and gives you 1 economy and 2 loyalty. It gives you crime and corruption, which could definitely beat your ass in the future. But are you kidding?
It's a good building.
Yeah.
You
That's
don't
like
want to
crazy
spam
awesome.
it because it gives you a bunch of unrest.
Yeah, but who cares?
Yep.
Because his people are the Densho dancers.
Yeah,
that's it.
The Densho dancers.
That's it.
Okay.
Well known.
So where are you
Well-known,
building the wall?
famous.
North, south, or
Uh,
where is it?
south.
No, you have to build one south to protect yourself from yourself, right?
Yep.
Okay. That just makes the most logical sense.
Well, I you know,
I
logically
mean, they
speaking,
can still walk through that territory there. You know what I mean? So
Whatever you say, Jake.
I got Kushi and Vosk, or whatever it is, above me.
yeah, true. Vosk will be sacked way before your city to get sacked.
Yeah.
Get sacked. So there's your wall. I imagine this is going to be the house, and this is going to be the dance hall.
Yeah.
Like that. Cool.
Beautiful.
And you got to add down here, house, dance hall, and then just to get started, stockyard. But obviously these are going to go to 1, and that's going to stay at 0. And over here we're going to do city wall 1. Equals there. And then finally we come back to kingdom, where you minus your unrest by 2 to bring it to a 0, but then you increased it by 1 to a 1. So
Doesn't the house reduce unrest as well?
oh, does the house also reduce unrest?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you being smart. Aw.
Yeah.
Which is like the one thing about building tenements and then upgrading to a house, is that the tenements give you an unrest, but then when you upgrade into a house, they would minus the unrest, so they kind of balance each other out.
Aren't you just a smart boy? Somebody give him a carrot. All right. So, anyways, the after that for you, sir, is you're down to like almost no BP, because that was 4 and 4 and 2 is 1 BP left.
Yep.
That's it. You're playing the dangerous game. You're not even leaving.
I had
money in
to
your...
because everything was so because I'm on crushing, everything was down bad. So
Well, I mean,
at least now I'm
it was a huge turn so far for your loyalty. It went so far from a 29 to a 35. That is a big, like a 6-point jump in one turn is friggin' huge, dude. Like,
That's really good.
that's like insanely good. Okay, let's keep going. Back to your kingdom rolls. Nothing with the armies, obviously. Issue any edicts. Are you going to change any of the edicts of your kingdom? For instance,
I'm not.
maybe you liked the idea of increasing your holidays from quarterly to monthly because you could afford it with consumption and to make your people happier. Like, I want to start every month there's a holiday, including the day that I leave to go north. We will be throwing a holiday event. You know what I mean? And let's just check what that does.
We'll leave it till after crushing taxes.
Why?
It says he can celebrate it.
Oh, so it doesn't feel like people don't feel like they're just paying for their own holidays?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
That's hilarious.
I'm just curious.
Everyone celebrate that I'm taking more taxes from you.
Dude, weekly holidays is badass.
I'm gonna get that as soon as I can get like if I get like -5 consumption, that's what I'm gonna do.
Well, so yeah, because the what are you at right now? Quarterly?
I'm
Oh,
at
hang on. What does it
Oh.
do to increase holiday edict by 1? What do I get from it?
You loyalty and economy. Check it.
So I'm on quarterly at the moment, am I?
Correct, which means once every 3 months.
Oh, it's just consumption.
Yeah,
Okay,
increase
I'm
your
gonna
consumption
do
by
that.
2. You can currently afford to do that.
I'm 100% going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to switch it to holiday edicts to make people very, 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 very happy. So now this is really important, because if you're going to be doing monthly holidays with your people, I'm curious, what kind of this is very important for the sake of culture. What kind of holidays are you guys doing monthly? Are you going to be throwing? And I don't mean like the holiday or the celebration edict or whatever it was we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my plan is that my nation basically, like each of our functions, like each of like the resources, all laborers get like the day off, right? And other laborers go and make sure everything is like repaired and upkept and there's no the mines don't collapse and whatnot, right? So it's more just like a day of rest.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and to maintain the production centers of the nation.
I've never worked in an industry where we celebrated national holidays. Like I've always worked. Like for instance, today's 4th of July is observed. I work today, so you know what I mean. Like I have always worked in industries where I had to work on national holidays, with the exception of Christmas and Thanksgiving. Mind you, I've worked Christmas before, but I refuse to work Thanksgiving. I would not never work Thanksgiving. So the only thing I would do is like donate time or like a food shelter or something like that for Thanksgiving, but I would never like work. So, anyways, so the so what is the general idea, or do you want time to think about that, Jake?
Give me some time.
Cool. So, chat, if you want to toss some ideas to Jake about what holidays could be, maybe it's one theme that he does every 12 months, or maybe it's different ideas for each of the 12 months. We can go ahead and do that with Jake. Unfortunately, I've named my days of the weeks. I've named my 3 moons. I've named the sun. I've named all sorts of stuff. I've never named the months, which is bad. I eventually have to do that if I'm ever going to put together more details. But continuing, so you're doing that edict. That's pretty badass, and you don't need to make any checks for that edict. That's a positive edict. Here's the important thing, Jake. If you change that in less than 12 months, you go down the scale. In less than 12 months, you deal out penalties. So you kind of put like a 12-month marker on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be an issue. Let's continue.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking good.
I should put that in there in this area. I could have made this a little bit bigger and put like a little spot in here for length or time. That might have been a good upgrade, but again, ideas for 3.2. All right, so now we're in the income phase. Are you withdrawing any money for finances for you to bring up north, or no, you can't afford to take the unrest? Because how much gold do you have on your person?
Not a lot. Yeah, I mean, I withdraw 1 BP.
You withdraw the last BP.
Yeah.
He walks into the National Bank and opens the door, and a bunch of moths fly out, and he goes, "That's my coin."
Well, to be fair, taxes are being collected at the same time, right?
So you withdraw 1 BP, which immediately increases your unrest by 1. And brings your treasury down to 0. Put 2,000 gold pieces on your character sheet. Are you trying to deposit into your account any amount of money? I imagine no. Magic items, or trying to sell any of the magic items in your kingdom? No. Okay, cool. Let's continue. That means it's tax time, baby. Are you ready?
Yep. Just gotta adjust the values because I just got a point of unrest. So
Can I tell you how much I love these kingdom rolls? Like, it blows my mind. By the way, your economy is now 32.
Ooh, Jake's got a nice economy now.
It's still 5 underneath his.
Yeah, well, but it doesn't matter what the control DC is for the most part. But it's like, I mean, it's better. It's at least above 30 now.
For the first time. Still over there with a 71 economy.
I have a 41. Okay.
Do we have any luck? Because
you're gonna want to bloop that first, sir. You want to bloop that first.
Oh,
no,
huge!
Thank you.
Poggers, bro. All right. So yeah, Jake, you I don't remember what I was gonna say to you. Oh no, I love these kingdom building games. Like, I won't lie. Like, I'm actually coming up with an idea of doing one for a family, for the family a family campaign of doing kingdom building.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
But at least the luck gave you 2 BP straight up.
Yep, that's it. I'll take the 19.
You got 1 BP from your roll.
The good news, don't forget, you also got the one from what's his fuck?
Oh,
so
yeah.
20.
How much BP was it?
What's his name? One from what's his name? Or was it 2? Because BP came from Steve, and was it from somebody else as well? I think it was just Steve. So you guys each got 1. Yeah, it was just 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get 1 BP, so it's actually 20. So your account isn't empty. It's pretty much where it was when you began.
20 BP is pretty good to start with.
Well, I mean, it's
no 50.
I don't have 50.
Sure.
I have 23 with 15 or 13 in expenses.
Sure. Okay. Jake, after that, it's time for your kingdom roll, for your event rolls. You currently are rocking a 75% chance. You're lucky. Get it out of the way now while you're here. Get out of the way now while you're here. But before we do that one, any other kingdom events that might be happening for you? Oh, that's right. What season are we in? We're going. This is your last month before going into winter. Oh,
Yeah.
Can you check Discord, Scott?
Why?
I just
Hold
sent
on.
a message.
Oh, you'll say. Oh, apparently a lot of people have sent me messages in the past 15, 20 minutes. Hold on.
Oh.
Ooh, Rena, are you still there? That looks sexy. That looks like really good. That looks like really, 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 really good. I like it a lot. Yeah, that looks really good. Jake, let me check you out.
Tell me to remind you.
Oh, I could not remember what that was. I was like, what are you talking about? I don't get it. Okay, cool. I'll deal with that in a minute. Okay. Apparently
so
Snaga also
75%.
messaged me too. Also, if you... No, Cell. No. We cannot do that. I'm saying Cell, sorry. Joey.
Yeah.
No.
I was like, what?
No.
What?
No. Joey, what's the matter with you? No. How do you play a hand if everybody can read your cards? You can't play poker if everybody can see your cards. Some things can be done out in the open. Other things have to be very discreetly handled. What's the matter with you? Why am I reading on stream? Because your suggestion was trash. All right.
Wait, I want to know now.
So I'll gladly tell you what Joey suggested. Joey is on the villages and villains tier of Patreon. So he gets to decide one villain for one of the campaigns and one village for one of the campaigns. He was asking me to make a Patreon video of the villain.
No.
A villain that's supposed to be part of like stuff that the PCs involved in that campaign shouldn't know about. Instead, we go, hey, everybody, look at this big video of all the information. This person right here is totally somebody you should be wary of. And then like,
like I could not watch the video.
I mean, to be fair, you could link it directly to me, and I probably still wouldn't watch it. So.
Well, but that's necessarily about your campaign.
Yeah,
because there's multiple campaigns, so he gets to choose a villain for one of the campaigns. So and so far, Joey's had some pretty consequential villains thus far. He's actually been pretty good at manipulating stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, so back to game. Where were we? Your kingdom upkeep stuff. So yes, obviously we have that Jake, which we'll do in one moment.
You want the event roll?
No, the random one goes last, and there was one more I was doing for you. Ah, that's right. I need it. Who is your You have your spy master.
You're a foe.
Yeah, can you do me a favor?
No.
Can you just segue for a minute? All right, just go into one of your rants about things. I'll be back in a sec.
Oh, okay. So Aurora went blueberry picking today with my wife, and there were some pretty delicious blueberries. I think Nick actually was the one that told him where the farm was. We told him where the farm was because Nick likes driving distances, so he's like, go to this place, and so they drove out there to it. Because I literally this morning was talking about wanting to go blueberry picking, and I can't go without you. I just want the blueberries. You go. So then tonight,
it's like a 10-minute drive.
It's not that. No, I think it's a little bit longer than that. But either way, so where were we? I made homemade whipped cream for the first time in whipped cream for the first time in whipped cream for the first time in a long time right now.
Why are you saying it like a southerner?
Whipped cream.
Singing like white.
You should hear him say wheat toast. It assaults my ears.
Wheat? Wait, how do you say it?
Okay, jokes aside, I actually say wheat toast.
Why?
Because Because whenever I say wheat toast, I get white toast. But whenever I say wheat toast, I get wheat toast.
I don't wait. How?
If I go out to breakfast and I'm like, I want my eggs over medium or over easy, whatever.
What?
And I want my bacon cooked crispy, and I want my pancakes, with powdered sugar and wheat toast. If I say, and I want wheat toast, I get white toast.
Rena's right with a, what the fuck?
I'm not even joking. If you say wheat toast at like a diner, you get white toast.
What?
And I don't want white. I don't want
That
goddamn
has
Wonder
never
Bread.
happened. This has never happened to me.
Consistently. The foundation of my current relationship was going out to diners for like years. My heart is going to explode
That's
from all
because
of
this
it.
douchebag would roll up into a diner with his torn jeans and flip flops, his little flannel
Socks on.
shirt, and be like, "Oh, can I get my 2 eggs over medium with wheat toast?" And they'd be like, "Fuck this guy, he gets white toast."
No, I would say wheat toast, and I would get white toast. So I started being like, I'm going to say like a douchebag. Well, I actually probably didn't have that kind of thought into it. I said, I'm going to say wheat to see if they notice. And I did, and they did, and it worked. And I stuck with it. So, anyways, we sat in the same booth. Excuse me. We sit opposite each other because we are not monsters. We do not same side. We are not monsters.
That messy clip still gets me. I'm just imagining it. Oh, it's so good.
Listen, he says that same siding has its benefits. How it's easier for me to steal half of her plate if she's on the same side.
You just reach across. Rena, did I pay you yet? By the way, it's Touray. It's Touray. Oh, I didn't. Okay, let me pay Rena real quick. I owe Rena money. I owe her money for that really.
She's gonna kill another being.
For that beautiful image she just sent me for that picture she just sent to me. I owe her a little bit of money.
If you don't hurry up, she's gonna kill another god in your world and send it to hell.
I'm the one that's deal with the consequences. I'm not the one that's salty. Talk to Green. Green is friggin' the Dead Sea right now. Okay.
I can't wait for us to experience the reddening of the sun of the world. Oh god. Who's next?
I think this is the amount that we said, Rena. So I'm gonna just send this to you. And if it's wrong, let me know. But I think we're good. We should be good from there. Okay. All right, back to game. So, where were we? Oh, yes. So, you were gonna have, you okay now, Jake?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. It was a really weird.
I just needed the minute.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's just making it a little bit more awkward.
Why are you making it so awkward?
Nick is eating a bowl of Fruity Pebbles, so we could all just stare at that for a second. Makes me want to go get a bowl of Cocoa Pebbles.
I want to hear about the Tinder date Jake just had to ask to leave.
What are you doing over there? I said get the fuck out. It's before sunrise. Bitch, you're still here. Anyways. So, where are you? Irithyll. Irithyll? Yes, Irithyll. The quartz. No, okay, so Irithyll, about information from the south is where he's getting. You can have this check for information from the south come from either Irithyll, who's technically been watching the north for a while now, or from your outrider, Doxul.
Whatever one you want to do.
It's actually you. You got to decide. Do you want Irithyll or Doxul to try to provide you information of what's happening to the south?
I mean, Irithyll is much more competent. So we'll go with him.
Awesome. Irithyll it is. So why don't you go ahead and roll me this check for the information coming from the south. It's just kind of like how you get the information sort of a thing. Coming from Irithyll, because he has to kind of like go through old notes versus like observing current activity. For Irithyll, it's going to be a hard check. So it's a DC 20. You're rolling a +7 against it, sir. This is going to be a stability check. So you actually get a +1 from that now. So that's going to give you a grand total of, a +8. I don't think you have any Winifred's wisdom or anything like that to use, so you're welcome to go ahead and roll.
Nope.
Wow, that was a goddamn roller coaster of a ride. So what's your grand total there? A 12 against a DC 20. Do you want to try to luck die to take it out of being a critical failure? You have a 75% chance to take it out of critical
We don't
failure.
have any luck.
You're welcome to try.
Sure, if it makes you happy.
He's just waiting for us to get the fail, and he just wants it to sit there.
It's still a critical failure. That makes it even better.
That's even worse because now I have to stare at the 1.
You have to stare at the 1. That equals still a critical failure, and so on. So because you critically failed on having Arithel give you information of what's going on in the south. Like I said, this isn't recent scouts, right? So there's it removes that penalty, but it is him going over certain notes and whatnot. One of the things that Arithel is going to inform you of is kind of like looking over the notes and everything about preparation for what's going on in the upcoming months, going into winter, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He says, Warlord Varix, I've been poring over my recent notes and confirming the details of the tribes that'll be near enough to us during the winter and the approximate numbers of what's there. I think I've put together a good understanding of what this upcoming winter will be like. I think we will be adequately prepared along our southern border. I would make the suggestion, Warlord, that perhaps instead of lining our troops evenly distributed across the southern border, that's where they're going to be most densely located, is actually going to be in our northernmost watchtower over near to there. I know, of course, we have to have most of our troops located at the fort because it's where we can house most of them. But by diverting as many as possible to the watchtower, that would give us the opportunity to, even with scouting and the like, to properly handle any that might come bleeding over. It'll protect Clan's Densho, as well as adequately protect our allies to the northwest, as is our responsibility. It might give us eyes on anything trying to slip into the woods.
You want to split Urzog's force?
Not necessarily splits, just leave it to Urzog to lead his people. He knows his people best, but have more scouts heading into the that northeastern region of the Barren Lands than usual. Perhaps checking to the hills, to the woods, and in that little area just a bit more often, just in case. It's a bit warmer up here than it is down there, and it's a little hiding spots where they can potentially find themselves from their own infighting.
Okay. Have a messenger sent to. I'll tell Urzog then. What you require of him.
I absolutely appreciate this, and I will make sure that he knows the patterns that we've seen in the past, and so on, and so on.
Thank you, Urzog.
He done fucked up. So, it sucks when you know things in the meta. You're like,
yeah,
it sucks. All right, so
he didn't say anything that my character would have been like, no, anyway.
No, and you shouldn't, because it was a critical failure.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So he was successful at failing. Yep. So that being said, we have that taken care of. The other task for you that you needed to do, because nothing was supposed to be crazy over the top for you. Let me just remember what it was. That's right. So you have a little situation going on. This is a minor situation, and you can actually choose who you think is the most appropriate to handle it. Mara and Saren, immediately are already not getting along. The two of them have biting words with one another. It seems as though Mara, once again, she believes that Sauron is some degree of impostor. She has this like taste in her mouth, and you're inclined to have trust in her because she's been with you for so long. But at the same time, he also was willing to let her live in accordance with the Kajinksi Code rather than straight killing her, because that's your choice, right? As the warlord here. Maybe them not trusting each other is just the fact of the matter that you broke normal tradition of murdering her, right? So whatever it might be, it just leaves doubt on all sides, right? Either way, she's been very, very bitter about the fact that she was defeated. And apparently she occasionally makes comments like, and we're not talking about like some friggin' Capitol building bullshit that you have in the United States where it's underhanded comments to staffers that then say stuff to other staffers and it gets back to them and it's like quibbling. No, like full on, like insulting to his face, like and stuff like that, because that they're a lot more aggressive here in Densho. He, however, simply responds with, I don't see why we have to bring this to such violence terms like you keep asking for. But if we do, I'll gladly finish the job next time. You know, like making sure that she knows that he clearly defeated her last time and so on and so forth. This has kind of made a bit of an awkward situation between the two of them, where she is bucking his place in his new role of being the Oraculi, and has not easily settled into her role as being the lore keeper. And this has kind of caused for you to do one of a few things here. One, to outwardly put Mara in her place and back up Sauron for where he is because of how things roll. Two, put him in his place and tell him to shut up and back down and just let her more or less blow off steam until it passes, you know, so on and so forth. Or ask one of your other advisors to mitigate the way that they feel is necessary. Either way, this is going to be a loyalty check. And who it is that you choose, you're then going to describe to me how it is you want it to be done, and then I will tell you the difficulty of it. So I'll tell you the difficulty after you tell me who it is and how it is that they're doing it, if it's not going to be you. I will tell you if it's just simply you handling it, it's going to be a challenging role.
What's challenging?
16.
16. Well, what I immediately thought was it would be Mara I would talk to about it, because at the end of the day, she lost. You know what I mean? She had a chance, she lost. But I also want to say if she has so much time to continue to to continue not doing her job and, you know, fucking around with that, she should be, I want to give her a task of actually looking in through the law and finding out anything she can about the Ashen Boar. So like I'm chastising her, telling her, yeah, you lost, mate. That's you know, you had your chance, you lost. You seem to have all this free time. Now I need you, you will do this.
So I imagine you're doing a semi-public chastising, doing it in front of other leaders, but not in front of not in front of the people, obviously.
Yeah.
Actually, I shouldn't say obviously. Densho would totally do it in front of the people. Like, town gathering, I'll watch.
It would be happening in a council meeting, is when it would be happening.
Okay.
Because she probably starts in the council meeting as well. And I mean, she knows better than anyone the way of the Oraculi. You know what I mean?
Does she? I mean, is she really an Oraculi?
Well, you tell me. I believe she is.
Yeah. But he never once accused her of not being one. So that being said, it's going to be a DC 16. While we're in here, we should probably some sort of noise over there. You should probably update who does what inside of your kingdom, because clearly you don't have your numbers over here correctly. Jeez, Jake. Your lack of work over here, Jake, just makes us all have to wait.
It's just the new roles, right? The rest are all done.
Over here, it's so the Oraculi for him is going to be based off of wisdom. His attribute modifier is a 4. His ranks in it are unfortunately only a 4. His months in it are 0 currently because he just took it. So his total modifier is a 4. Then you have Mara is going to come over here. Who's going to have a charisma of a 2. This is an active patron, by the way. Sarin is. Yeah. Mara is not. Her months in it are 0, and her ranks in this are 6, I think. Just giving her +3, so she is the lore keeper of a 3, just to have that in there. But then we also have Verix, whose attribute you use is what? Charisma?
Strength.
Strength?
Might make it right. Yeah.
Okay, and what's your attribute?
5.
You've been in it since as long as all of the other leaders, so let's say 18 months. And your rank for Warlord is supposed to be ranks in diplomacy, I believe, or is it no? It's knowledge Warlord.
No, it's knowledge warlord. Yeah.
What's your knowledge Warlord ranks? And so it's ranks plus miscellaneous, not temp.
Yeah. Let me bring my character sheet up. Knowledge warlords. I have 5 ranks.
5. Okay.
Yep.
So you have a +7 against a challenging roll. This is in fact a loyalty check, so you have a +0. So there's a 1d20 +7 against a DC of 16. You go right ahead and roll for me, sir. I'd like to set natty 1 so you can have another critical failure. I'd love to see some infighting between your people while you're gone.
There you go.
Or that. That's a critical success. Okay. Could you please make a note on your new kingdom sheet that you've barely started working on so far? So your notes, probably in your quick notes, which is the on the just the kingdom page. Mara searching for white boar or whatever it is. That way we know that's definitely triggered next time. And could you go ahead, because you did a lashing for her, go ahead and give her a +3 on that check. Because she now is motivated to prove herself correct. So you have a +3 with that critical success there.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. And then the next thing that shows up for your kingdom rolls. Somebody comes by for a visit. You actually have a visitor come to your kingdom. Specifically, and I don't know who you want to have in the meeting, but you're actually going to have the person for the broken chains. We're going to bring you guys down here. And Densho is, I think, this one over to my left. Yeah. Who is going to be a part of this meeting? You can imagine that, of course, somebody like, say, Aurorum might. I don't know who would be there, who wouldn't be there.
I mean, Urzog's got other things to attend to.
Who's missing, by the way?
As I assume Irithel does as well, I'd say.
Oh yeah, that's right. They came over here. Irithel came over here. So Irithel has other things to attend to. Urzog has other things to attend to. Who else? Who else? You probably want your high priest
to attend to.
You probably want your high priest. Mara's elsewhere. Yeah. Okay, who else?
The rest can be there.
Mara's not even in there. Huh. She doesn't even have a seat at the table anymore. That's funny. All right, cool. So everybody else can be there. All right, and when the that fun person shows up that was inside of the other clans before, you know she's a very pleasant woman. So she comes walking into your to have a meeting with you. Of course, requesting an audience. You meet with her. Blah 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 blah. Right. So she comes in and will give an appropriate bow to your to the warlord as she's in there, and of course, we'll allow you to speak first, sir.
You've returned.
I have. I see the construction has been complete for some time, and people are utilizing the facilities. Sorry. Let me get into Kuruk character. Looks like it's built. People use it. Good. Your people like it.
They do.
Have you visited, Warlord?
I have.
Have you had much prayer or self-discovery there?
Prayer, yes. Self-discovery, not so much at the moment.
She nods understandingly and says, the issue is the location has mixed value, much like leading an army. If you divide your forces too many ways, they lack the power to truly accomplish a task. You are taking a building with a specific purpose and giving it multiple purposes. Those that wish to focus on what they need to focus on are not going to have the chance to do it. Warlord, I have been traveling far. I have been speaking with many, and have been spending much to make sure that the broken chain is not forgotten, and that people's freedoms are understood in all the clans. After spending such a time, I've realized I have additional assets in my possession that I didn't expect to have before. Before I speak to any other clans and make offers to them, I thought I would come and speak to the clan that needs it the most. The clan that does the real fight of helping to divide the new from the old. Your monastery. It's a place for one to work on themselves, to reflect, to train, to perfect themselves. Prayer is important, especially to Vroga, but it's a bit of a distraction in a place like the monastery. I wish to allow for a greater divide so focus can be had. I wish to sponsor a proper temple to Vroga inside of Clan Densho. Of course, with one such statue inside of it being dedicated to the ideals of the broken chain, but the rest of it to the general beliefs and worship of Vroga.
And you wish to sponsor it like you did the monastery?
I do. I do wish to cover it as much as is possible. I believe you have, in walking through your lands the times that I have, DM that's totally dragging his feet before he can get the answer to his question, before he asks it. As you already have a shrine to Vroga. I believe you already have a shrine. I wish to expand upon the shrine that currently exists and make it a proper temple. What say you to this?
Your investment is welcome. Like it was with the monastery, so it will be with the temple.
She nods appreciatively.
Vroga is the god of the Kurok. He should be properly represented.
She nods appreciatively again and says, if I may have any extra say in this matter beyond providing the additional assets, I suggest expand it so it's not just one simple building, but beginnings of a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like, what do you call it? Like a campus sort of a thing? Beginnings of grounds, of holy grounds. Don't simply make one large building by blowing out the walls and building it southward. Build it to the west, across the areas that you have there, and allow room for future expanse. You and I both know Clan Densho has no intention of disappearing anytime soon, and with you living as long as you intend to, and you have the ability to, it is very likely, under your rule, we can see a proper cathedral one day built to Vroga. The first proper cathedral to Vroga in southern Kajinksi.
That's so meta-wise, she wants to build to the left of it and over like the
Yep. So it takes up like that area right there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, I'm down for that.
Because remember, we modified the rules so you can build across the streets now.
Okay.
Because it also puts it right next to your castle, and it keeps it right next to the monastery, but allows room to eventually kind of expand down like this.
Yep. Yeah. No, I'm good with that.
And the super cool thing too is in the interim, in the meanwhile, while you're waiting to eventually turn it into a cathedral, you could actually build a monument here and a graveyard here, and actually turn this all into like a whole holy quarter. And then later on, you just break those down by absorbing them into your cathedral. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Of course, only the most holy of warriors would be able to be buried in the grave. You can't just do everyone, right?
Of course, yeah. We have another graveyard, I think. So
yeah, we just eat them.
She's so mad.
Otherwise, she nods and she says, "If I may make one last suggestion in this endeavor, there is there are several well-known warriors that have fought in the name of Broga, that have kept to their hearts the true ideals of the broken chain. I suggest that when you are planning and constructing this temple, that perhaps you keep in mind some of the greatest warriors that existed, and perhaps bring a bit of homage to them, the ones that have spent their time making things as well known as they are. Dedicated.
the strong should be represented. That is all. That is our culture. The strong survive. The stronger are remembered.
I'm sure, in honor of the broken chain and of Vroga, there are many warriors that could have things put in as honorifics to them. He says, saying, "Hey Jake, see if anybody that's on the $5 tier or higher on Patreon wants to name your monastery or shrine or whatnot. If they have come up with cool names, so you can work with them and apply that to your kingdom there."
Yep.
Cool. Anyways, so continuing. She says, we can begin construction. I can begin supplying materials as well as labor and cost, starting in the next few weeks' time. Yeah, it's called Warmonger Spoilers.
The sooner the better.
She nods. I will see to it that the supplies are brought to you beginning next month.
The broken chain is always welcome in Clandenture. He'll nod, dismissing her more or less.
She'll bow as well, but not a bow of finality. A bow of kind of like closing off that chapter and going back to it. So she says, another point of interest, Warlord. This temple, when it's done being constructed and we can have that dedicated focus in the separate buildings as mentioned, perhaps at that time I can demonstrate to you a few details of what it is that I'm referring to for self-perfection. Perhaps I can even give you a one-on-one lesson.
He'll look her up and down and then he'll just say, I welcome it.
She then gives the appropriate bow of finality. You can also leave a note on your sheets that she'll want to visit you the day, like the month that your temple is done. She'll want to, during the event phase of that month, she'll want to come back again. So you can kind of mark that somewhere. All right, cool. So let's continue. She is going to give you, so finishing off that Fortune's favor that was dropped that only Jake takes advantage of, she's going to cover half the cost of upgrading your shrine to a temple, which is good news. And then you can name the monastery and the temple after different people. If you want, you can also name the cistern after something too, at the waterways. If I may make a suggestion, if I may put a thumb on this, that Fortune's favor was dropped by Anno specifically. So I would tap Anno first for names before anybody else. And then you can take other suggestions as well. So if I may put a thumb on that, but by no means are you locked into it.
I'll send him a message.
Cool. And lastly, we have to do your randomized kingdom rolls. Are you excited to get that one done?
Yeah, 75% excited. Let's do it.
That's funny. All right, cool. So you have a 75% chance. Tell me, what is the 25 that does not give you it, and who is rolling that D100 for you?
Zalamos can roll, and it's going to be 1 to 25.
So if it's a 26 or higher, something happens. If it's a 1 to 25, nothing happens. Zyguy,
Yep.
you definitely want to go ahead and roll for that. Beautiful. All right, Jake. Now that I get to have my fun, Nick, you want to go ahead and choose who gets to roll what event it is? Nobody has a fortunate ruler, right? Yeah, no.
Next level. I'm taking it. I'm excited. I have no other feats I need, to be honest with you.
That just means you double the people that you choose or whatever. So, Nick, go ahead. You want to call somebody out in chat?
Steve, go for it.
Steve. Oh, Steve, he's about to leave. So if he doesn't respond in 20 seconds, we will move get a backup person. Oh, no, there we go. Perfect. 31. A Dangerous Kingdom event. Ooh. Choose somebody, Sal. Who's rolling the Dangerous Kingdom event?
Let's LD. Don't fail me now, buddy.
LD. LD, give me a 1 to 5. LD, give me 1 to 5. LD, give me 1 to 5.
Roll
LD,
in the
give me
middle,
1 to 5.
please.
LD, give me a 1 to 5, baby. Give me a
This
1
could
to
be really
5.
bad.
Oh,
You could have a crop
LD.
failure, Jake, and it'd be really, 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 really bad.
It'll be really bad. Come on, LD. Yeah, yes. What kind of question is that? 63. Large disaster. Oh, this is the first time. Okay, I'm gonna read this out loud.
Lovely.
A fire, storm, earthquake, flood, massive sabotage, or other disaster strikes. Roll a 1d6. I want you to go ahead and roll. Choose somebody to roll a 1d6. Jake.
Joey.
Joey, give me a 6, baby. Joey, give me a 6. Joey, give me a 6, please. Oh, I suck. On a result of 1 to 5, the disaster threatens only one improved hex, specifically an improved hex. On a result of 6, the disaster is widespread and threatens 1d6 additional improved hexes adjacent to the target hex. Attempt a stability check for each threatened hex. Failure means it destroys one terrain improvement in the hex, and then rest increases by 1. 1 second, don't roll anything yet. The stability check represents your kingdom's ability to prepare or react to the disaster, as well as the structural's ability to withstand the damage. Now, what improved hex this is, we got to add a degree of chance to this. Okay, we have how many improved hexes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 improved hexes. How are we going to handle this? So we are going to roll. I'm going to say a D12. Because number 13, the one we're not going to have an effect is the one that is literally where your capital is. So that's the one that's immune. Otherwise, it's a countdown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a countdown with 12, 11, 10, 9 is the one that I want to hit. Like, I would love it if somebody rolled a 9. So we need to roll a D12, which I don't even think exists in chat. So, Jake, you can ask somebody to roll it, and if it doesn't work, immediately roll a D12 instead of roll 20. Well, that answers that question. Jake, go ahead and roll a D12 and roll 20. And please go ahead and roll me a 9. Ah, lame. Lame.
It's funny as the one.
But
because LD just said roll 2d6 and I'm like, you can't get a 1, and then he rolls a 1.
So I like the idea of what's going to happen with this, though, because it specifically says fire, storm, earthquake, flood, other natural disaster, or a massive sabotage. I'm going to go with that one because it makes sense with the hex that was rolled. Massive sabotage. I'll get to that in 1 second. I'll explain in 1 second.
All right.
I need a stability check from you, which if I remember correctly, don't roll it yet. You have a plus 30. You have a plus 42 against a 37. If you roll a natty 1, you fail. Otherwise, you automatically succeed. Would you like somebody in chat to roll that D20 for you, since it only matters if they roll a natty 1?
I'll roll it.
Okay.
Should be responsible for my own misfortune.
Okay.
That's fair.
So stability is a 42. Is it?
It is.
Yeah. Where is that? Okay.
Did you just see the trump card Steve played?
Nope.
I did, and it's really mean. It's
Oh,
like
I'm good.
I don't like that.
I
He said for a reason.
I don't know if I can honor that one for plot reasons. Oh, never mind. I know exactly what that is. I confused where what they were talking about. So I think I'm going to need clarification from him, but I believe I know what he's talking about. I think that's actually perfectly fine. I think that's perfectly fine. We'll make that happen. So back to you, sir. It's between one of two things, and if it's one, I'm like, I don't know, and if it's the other one, I'm like, oh yeah, definitely, let's do that. All right, so back to you, sir. You succeeded. So this is what happens. You end up realizing, so no actual disaster is going to affect you. You're actually going to be able to stop it, okay? Because you did not fail, so you do not lose the improvement, and you do not gain the unrest. So what ends up happening is you realize that in your farm, in your most north, most west corner over there, some of the livestock that you have are just winding up, just dead. They're not like even being stolen. They're just winding up dead. And then you have like one of the barns is actually set on fire over there. And then another night you have some livestock end up dead. But then you appropriately plan for it. Your Karuk that you have are no wimps. They're not going to run away from this. They use their dark vision. They hide in the nights because you're unfortunately homogenistic. So you are able to easily see at nighttime. You wait for people to come. And then when finally you're able to stop the attacks, stop the killing of the livestock and whatnot that you see there, you come to realize this isn't just happening because animals are attacking them, despite like the claw marks or whatever that you're kind of seeing inside them. You realize this is people doing this. There are people coming over here and attacking them. And when they retreat back to the west, giving you the idea that maybe Kushibashi is not satisfied with how things were resolved between your clan and theirs when I should say the court of public opinion with how things were resolved. Maybe between those families things were, but maybe with the other citizens that were there, they're not too terribly satisfied with things, and they don't like Densho being outside their doors. So
well, I summon the ambassador.
Okay, that's going to pull over to the ambassador. Nick, that's going to be you. Are you inviting the other ambassador to be there as well, or what's up?
Sure, he can tag along.
Okay. Any of your leaders, or are they all gone?
I mean, he'd have the person, responsible for finding out what happened. So the person that relayed the message, that's seen where they retreated and all that stuff.
That would have been just your people.
Nameless NPC.
Yeah. Nameless NPC would have run the information back and so on and so forth. They probably would have handed it to, my apologies, to be clear, they probably would have handed it to your counselor, Egrid, and Egrid would have informed you. Because that's Egrid's job. No, Egrid.
Isn't the warden responsible for enforcing the stuff?
Actually, the perimeter. So the more perimeter stuff is your marshal, which is Doc Sewell. Doc Sewell spends most of their time down south because of where you border. So this is a people's thing. So definitely for you, it'd come from your counselor.
Yeah. Let me see here.
How much has Egrid ever spoken?
I think once. Or maybe twice, because I knew we talked about this once before.
Yeah. That's just...
You can have Lyra there if you want.
No, I mean, sure, I like Lyra. She can stay. So I would just... when everybody's in the room, I would say, Ambassador Kiyoshi, we have had reports that... members of Kushibashi are killing animals and setting fires, trying to disrupt our farmland. And I would tell him where exactly it was. I believe we had something similar, which was dealt with by your warlord. but it appears that the people may not have thought it enough.
And we're sure these people are from Kuchibashi and not some kind of subterfuge from disgruntled family members, from those who were punished.
Then he would look to the counselor and say, it was seen they were going, retreating back into Kushibashi land.
Yes, it was seen that they were doing exactly that, Warlord. Retreating back.
Was not a one-off occurrence. It was noticed more than once.
And that as well, yes, Warlord. It was seen that they retreated back and came back. It was on the third night that they were actually caught, red-handed, if you will. The blood of our chickens and the like.
So you have one of them. So we are sure it is Kushi then.
My apologies. When I say caught, I mean to be seen, but we weren't able to capture anybody. They retreated quickly. We did not find specifically any tracks of Kamatori. So this is what leads us to believe that it's likely not that exact family, as that family would have access to more rapid transportation.
Wow, these accusations seem to be fairly baseless and wild. I can claim Kushibashi will certainly look into it, although I can assure you, Warlord Varix, Lord Naren is a lot of things, but he's not merciful. So our people rarely step out of line, as no one likes being disemboweled by a Kamatori. But I do believe that subterfuge was used the last time Clan Densho was raiding lands for livestock. So I suggest we not just look in one direction, and I will gladly pursue this from the angle of Kuchibashi, and if your counselors do the same from Densho.
Yes, I think, once again, knowing exactly who is behind it and handling it appropriately is the wisest course of action. If it is Densho, rest assured it will be dealt with. Making trouble between two allied clans is not going to be punished lightly, as it wasn't before. I think if you inform Warlord Naren of the situation and let him know that we are investigating on our side too to find out who is at fault, and then we'll take it from there.
That is more than reasonable.
Alright. So I will dismiss the council and, I don't know, I want thorough investigations, I guess.
Who do you want to look into the matter?
I mean, it's Doxul's job.
Doxul's usually down south. Yeah. Oh, you currently have Irithel down there, but they are Doxul is usually focused down there, but you can always pull them from the south to look elsewhere.
What do I have?
I mean, you could just use your counselor, because this is like a task relating to the people, which is what the counselor's job is.
Dealing with the people is the counselor's job, generally speaking, but it doesn't have to be. It can be all sorts of people.
Well, I think that Doxul fits it. She should do it, but I mean, the
Mortifer
counselor's
can
already
handle
here.
this.
I won't. No, I will not have Doxul return from if she is south, even though that's her. Her job is to kind of police the thing. But all right, we'll have the counselor do it and go and talk to the people, find out their grievances. Find out if they're just trying to get revenge, or whether it is on Kuchibashi's side.
Would you like to go ahead and roll for me this is not a particularly difficult one, an average check for Egret? This is technically a loyalty check, but so you got a +0, but it's average is DC 12. You have a +4 with Egret. Really? How do you fail even the most simple things?
Know.
You have a chance of succeeding, though. You have a
Luck
chance.
it.
Find out.
I'd like it. Unlucky.
Nope.
Well, you fail by
One off.
1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's too bad. So unfortunately, looking into it as much as they can, Egrid is trying to discover who it was that was the perpetrator in the situation. They weren't able to discover who it was, and in not being able to discover who it was, it then falls to the responsibility of the Kushibashi clan to deal with it. Nick, make a note onto your quick notes or whatever it is you need that you're going to have to find the perpetrators along the border once again for who it is that's attacking Clan Densho.
Gotcha.
And you might want to think of who it is that you think would be a good person for handling the situation, because you know it is a bit of a delicate matter. So. For him, it was an average check, by the way. For you, Nick, it's going to be a hard check, and I'll explain why afterwards. You know what I mean? But for you, it's...
You just want me to roll poorly, and then you want to use your daddy dice. I get it. I get it.
Listen, Nick. So, chat, the reason why is because the it's not actually the Kushibashi people that did it.
Stream.
So Nick is gonna have to blame people that aren't his
Probably.
people, and nobody's gonna want to believe it, which is why it's hard for him. But it was average for Jake to discover it. But it's hard for him to convince everybody that the truth is it wasn't his people. Just so we all know. All right, so back to the game. You guys are able to.
That's it, right?
That is it. Yeah. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, it looks like it's supposed to be everything. Event phase is done. Jake, you actually drop your event phase, goes down to only 25%, which is good news while you're gone.
Yep.
So, unless you have something that you want to do immediately.
Chat, can we talk about the fact that Saren just got here? He's been here 1 month. And while Jake is gone, Saren, the newbie to the nation, gets to absorb absolute power of being the temporary warlord in accordance to the Ashen Orcs traditions. Let's just hope Saren's not a shady
we're
dude.
built around those traditions.
Let's hope that Saren's not a shady dude, right, Saren? Right?
So, couple things, Scott. One, I bought that lesser restoration potion. I marked everything off for it. Unless you have something you want to do before we head out, I want to have a quick talk with my brother, Naito.
Yes, you can definitely have a quick talk with your brother, Naito.
Okay. I assume I'm probably approaching him in the war room or whatever, and looking over maps.
And after we do this little RP, I think then we'll take a quick little break too for people to pee and whatnot. So
yeah, I
why don't
figured
you?
This.
Yep.
Yeah. So
you're good. You're good.
War room as the maps of our nations roughly right. Marking our
War
potential
room
allies.
being where?
Probably in the barracks.
Okay.
It's a pretty good spot for a war room for now.
Okay.
Everything's at the temple. Everything's at the temple. No. What? Probably in the barracks. I dismissed the guards on watch, probably 2 of them or whatever, right? And I sit down at a chair.
Okay.
Brother, I will be leaving shortly. As you know, you are to assume the position of warlord while I am gone. I also want to give you this, and then he takes out a letter he has. If things to go awry and I do not return, open this letter. If not, then have no need for it. And he hands it to him.
He takes the letter, places it down in front of him. I've already hand-selected the soldiers that will be traveling with you, Warlord Tessel. They will see to it that this letter will be sealed and awaiting your return home, so that you can then burn it or do with it as you please. I would like to inform you that in your absence, I did reach out to our sister and have invited for her to come and spend the time that you're away here, in case there are any matters that require perhaps interpreting your softer touch that I would not adequately be able to come to an understanding of, so that we can see to it that the people are appropriately taken care of.
I appreciate the extra effort. It'll put my mind at ease, as you know. I will be uneasy on my trip. Hopefully, I can calm down by the time we get to the city, so I'm not showing it in front of the entirety of Kajinksi, it seems, or at least the other warlords.
Well, I can tell you that we will be on high alert. Personally, I feel I have this foreboding sense. I wish that this ball wasn't happening now, when it is. I wish the 3 clans warlords were not heading together to the north as of now. Winter is a terrible time to leave a clan missing some of its greatest assets. Beyond that, I again have this sense, this impending doom feeling in my chest. Those are the winds of change are upon us, and I do not know if I like the way they're blowing.
I too also feel this unease, but what can we do but take the punches of fate?
No, his name's Nick. It's jokes.
We can't not go to this gala. It's too important for our future. Hopefully our men are ready for any situation, especially with the new arms and armor made for them. They should be an unstoppable wall of steel.
I know we haven't gone over many details of what's going to happen in your absence, but I think you understand that while you are away, I have little to no intention of continuing to expand the nation beyond finishing up the basic plans that you have already put in place. However, I will be making sure that there is a degree of focus on the training of our soldiers. They are lacking the discipline that's going to be needed with us ever expanding our borders, but it's not increasing the size of our military to equal that expansion. We are going to make sure that each soldier is worth 3 times, if not more, their value to compensate for that.
He nods. You have helped put me at ease a bit, brother. Make sure to check up on father and mother for me while I'm gone. I don't get much time to spend time with them. Maybe put them at ease. I know it's been rough for them as much for us since the nation's been formed.
He nods and he says, Warlord Tessel, you cast a long shadow. I hope to see to adequately serve our people the way that you have.
I know you will, brother. And then, gives him like a brother hug.
It's actually an important thing to go over. We should also have that kind of conversation with the other 2 clans as well. But why don't we take a quick break? So I've been drinking coffee. I could piss. I'm sure you would like to as well. That does remind me of the thing we talked about the other night. Nick, in case you hadn't heard this one before, do you know the differences between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea?
The way it's packaged?
Nah, I've never had a garbanzo bean on my face. See you guys momentarily.
What is wrong with you?